Does this number belong to Tyler's mom, Beth?
Who's this?
I'd totally appreciate if you didn't answer my question with a question, okay? Thanks. Answer my question, now.
Isn't it usually considered polite to tell someone who you are before making aggressive demands when messaging a complete stranger out of the blue?
Huh?
Who are you?
Holy heck, you really are something else. I'm Cindy, your son's girlfriend.
Huh? My son?
Well, to be more specific, I'm actually his ex-girlfriend. But that's your son's fault. Allow me to explain what I mean.
Okay. I'm really not sure what you mean by my son.
What? Do you need me to say his name again? Tyler. Tyler. Your son, Tyler.
And did this son of mine do something to you?
Yes, he did something super duper horrible to me. He used me, tricked me, deceived me, then tossed me aside when he was done with me like some piece of garbage, like some pawn in his sick game. I'm the poor victim who got chewed up and spat out by your son's marriage scam.
Marriage scam?
Your son tricked me into paying him $150,000 as part of some twisted marriage scam.
My son, Tyler, $150,000?
That's what I just said, isn't it? You're his mom, so you must be getting some money from him, right? That's why you need to take responsibility for what he did and make this right.
Responsibility?
Yes, I am telling you to show some sincerity and good faith by way of apology for your son's despicable behavior towards me.
Could you be more specific?
Give me back the $150K he swindled me out of. If you do, I'll consider this whole thing settled and am very kindly willing to not take him to court. Also, I'm pregnant, so you need to take responsibility for that, too.
You're pregnant? I'm just asking this to make sure, but you wouldn't joke about something as serious as my son Tyler getting you pregnant, would you?
Give me a break, like I joke about that. If anything, it seems like I'm the only one taking this seriously. Tyler promised me we were going to get married. I figured if we were going to end up getting married and spending the rest of our lives together, it wouldn't be a big deal for me to lend him the $150K he was asking for. But in spite of that, the moment I told him I was pregnant, he blurts out, "Not my problem," and runs away like some sniveling coward with his tail between his legs.
Wow.
If he agrees to give me back my $150K and be a daddy to this baby growing inside of me, I won't take him to court for marriage scamming me, and I'll agree to marry him. This isn't going away unless you play ball with me, so you better start taking what I'm saying seriously. Think of it this way. If you work with me on this, all of your problems will disappear in a heartbeat. Isn't that an attractive offer? Besides, Beth, this will be your first grandson. From your point of view, I don't think this is a bad offer at all.
The thing is, Cindy, there is no way my Tyler could possibly have done any of the things you're accusing him of.
Is this where you start blabbering about how my son would never do such a thing? You obviously don't know him very well if you think he's some angel who could do no wrong. I get why you want to tell yourself that, but this is reality. It's time to wake up and smell the coffee. I am the victim of his scheme, and as much as you'd like to tell yourself otherwise, I do actually exist. I'm not a dream, and I'm not a ghost. This is reality. That's why you'll be making sure that jerk Tyler takes full responsibility for everything he did to me. I want the $150K he stole from me back, and his hand in marriage. And I ain't budging on this, so don't even try to negotiate or worm your way out on his behalf, because you'll only make things worse for yourself.
I'm sure you can understand that this is all very sudden for me. I need some time to talk things through with my husband. I take it that won't be a problem for you? I'm absolutely certain this is a case of mistaken identity, but it seems like you've been through a rough time of it lately, so let me get definite confirmation so you can move on and go after whoever it was who really hurt you.
And I'm absolutely certain I have the right person, but fine. Once your little family meeting's over, I'll be waiting for my $150K and my wedding. Speak soon.
Vince, I am sorry to bug you while you're away on business like this. There is something I need to discuss with you urgently.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm currently in the bus en route to the hotel, so I wasn't busy anyway. What's up? Is everything okay?
Listen, someone messaged me out of the blue. Supposedly Tyler scammed some girl out of $150K with some kind of marriage scam, as well as getting her pregnant.
Excuse me? A marriage scam? Pregnancy? Tyler?
Some girl called Cindy messaged me all of a sudden.
Surely it's just some kind of prank. I've heard about this kind of thing on the news before. They call a bunch of people with some dramatic story, citing a random name until they find someone who matches. Tyler couldn't possibly do something like that in the first place. Even if it's not a prank, maybe she's making some kind of misunderstanding. In any case, there's absolutely no way what she's saying is true. At least not with our Tyler.
Right, I'm with you 100%. I try to see the best in people, so I'd like to think she's making some kind of misunderstanding. But the thing is, I don't know anyone called Cindy, and I have no idea how she got my number or knows Tyler's name. I supposed she could have tried her luck with hundreds of people before me, but it still kind of feels too oddly specific to be a random prankster. To tell you the truth, Vince, I'm scared.
Right? It must have given you quite a shock to get bombarded with all that stuff.
Does the name Cindy ring any bells to you?
Nope, nothing. I don't know anyone named Cindy.
I see.
Right, first things first. I'm gonna come home tomorrow. It's probably an overreaction, but I think you should take Tyler and get away from the house for tonight, just in case.
Right, you're right. If Cindy knows this much, she might know where we live, too. I'll call my dad and have him pick us up and take him to my folks' place.
Yeah, good idea. Also, I don't think you should reply to her anymore until we get a better idea of what's actually going on here.
You're right. I'll think about how to proceed from here while keeping an eye on things and seeing how this all plays out. All right, I'm gonna make the preparations for mine and Tyler's emergency evacuation.
Great. If anything happens, you have to let me know immediately.
Thanks, Vince. You're my rock. I'll be in touch when we get to my folks' place.
Be careful.
Hey, Beth? How did last night's family meeting go? I've been waiting for you to message me for ages. What the heck's going on? Do you have any idea how anxious you made me? I've done nothing but worry after what your jerk of a son did to me, and now you're making my head even worse. I was so anxious I cried all night. Look, don't you feel guilty about what you did to me? Hurry up! I want my $150K and my wedding! Hey! Hurry up! I sent you a picture of me crying, goddammit! Do you have no heart? How can you ignore the fact that your evil son took advantage of a poor, vulnerable young woman for his own financial gain? You're a disgrace to all mothers. Hurry up and tell Tyler to give me back my $150K and put a goddamn ring on my finger! Beth, you better quit ignoring me right now. Is it any wonder Tyler grew up into the kind of guy who makes girls cry with a mother like you? If you keep dragging this out, my patience and kindness will wear thin, and it won't be $150K you owe me, but $250K. Also, I'll demand the wedding be held abroad on a luxurious tropical island. Is that what you want? For me to increase my demands? Hurry up and drag that scumbag Tyler out of hiding pronto.
Vince, I finally found out Cindy's true identity.
Seriously?
Yep, and that's not all. I also know who she means by Tyler.
Oh?
I want to tell you everything in detail. Do you think maybe you could stop off at my folks' place on the way home from work?
I'll be there!
Hey, I am freaking serious here. Stop ignoring me.
Sorry I kept you waiting, Cindy.
Aha, there you are. You kept me waiting for a whole 3 days. That's it. You leave me no choice but to up the stakes to $250K and a foreign wedding.
Listen, Cindy, here's the thing. Tyler is a 2-year-old girl.
Huh?
The reason I'm so late getting back to you is because I wanted to take some measures to ensure my daughter's safety before I did, so please find it in your heart to forgive me. As for your claim, I wish you would have done a more thorough investigation before bombarding me with your threatening messages.
What are you talking about?
You extracted my phone number out of one of my friends, didn't you?
Huh? One of your friends?
I got a message from her. She told me she gave you my number because you approached her outside kindergarten and fed her your nonsense story about Tyler, my 2-year-old, owing you settlement money. She asked me if I ended up getting any messages from you.
Wait, those moms having an idle chit-chat outside the kindergarten were your friends?
Yes. I told her I had no recollection of anything involving settlement money and that she shouldn't blindly accept suspicious stories involving large sums of money owed to strangers, especially when they involve giving out my private information. But then it dawned on me. She was talking about you, wasn't she, Cindy? When I showed her the photo you sent me, she said it was you, beyond any shadow of a doubt. When I asked in more detail about what exactly happened, she said you approached her just around the time they were all talking about the fact that I was planning on buying Tyler that $15 toy aeroplane that's in all the TV commercials right now for her 3rd birthday.
Wait, what? $15? Not $150,000?
Right.
The aeroplane is a toy? Not a real airplane?
Right, of course. My husband's a huge radio communications and aviation geek, and thanks to him, Tyler's really into planes right now.
What the hell is going on here? That's not my Tyler.
Right, of course she isn't. I'm repeating myself now, but my Tyler is a 2-year-old girl.
I wanted to find Tyler to get my revenge on him for what he did to me. And while I was walking around the neighborhood where the kindergarten is, I overheard some people talking about a Tyler whose mom was going to buy him a $150,000 airplane for his birthday. It sounded like they were talking about a super rich family, and I kept hearing the name Tyler, so I put 2 and 2 together, and I thought it was the scumbag who tricked me.
I see. So the harassment you've been subjecting me to over the last few days was all the result of a misunderstanding you made after mishearing something while walking around town?
I misheard them? Oh my God.
The Tyler you're referring to was your male friend and classmate from back when you were attending college in Seattle, wasn't he? The pampered, spoiled son of a very rich family?
Yes, but wait, how do you know all this?
I think the Tyler you're looking for used to live in our neighborhood.
Really?
I came from out of town, so I didn't know the family personally, but according to what the neighbors tell me, he got a job with a major Japanese YouTube manga company straight after graduating college and hasn't even been in the States for the last 5 years.
What? He left 5 years ago?
Supposedly, he used to come back to visit his family, but hasn't been home at all in the last 2 years, what with everything that's been going on in the world lately. Which means it's safe to say the possibility of you being pregnant with his child is precisely 0.
What?
Which begs the question, what on earth were you trying to accomplish by bombarding me with all of this talk of marriage scams and pregnancy?
Yeah, I've had it with you. Fine, you're right. Well done, Beth. You figured me out. It was all a lie.
I knew it.
But you should know this is still all Tyler's fault. No matter how much poetry or how many love letters I left in his mailbox, he didn't even have the basic decency to reply to me. No, scratch that. He wouldn't even look at me. And what's worse, he even had the nerve to start dating another girl from our class. The most horrible part of it was she wasn't even nearly as pretty as I am. Don't you think that's horrible?
That's a difficult question to answer given that I wasn't there and don't know the circumstances.
But no matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't get him off my mind. Then I remembered how I heard his family home was in your neighborhood one time during class back when I was at college. So I rode 6 hours on the bus to pay him a little visit. But then, What I thought was a piece of blessed fortune, that little tidbit of information I happened across when I heard the moms gossiping outside the kindergarten, was actually a different Tyler all along? I can't believe it.
But listen, Cindy, how was anyone ever possibly going to believe any of this nonsense about marriage scams and pregnancies when you hadn't seen each other in over 5 years?
Well, that's simple. Tyler can't handle his alcohol, so I was just going to play it off like we hooked up one night when he was wasted and he didn't remember it.
Wow, I'm at a loss for words. This goes beyond a simple misunderstanding. You're dangerous.
Shut your goddamn mouth, old lady.
By the way, Cindy, word has it you've been reported to the police.
The police? Wait, what?
You're outside my house right now, right? I just got a text from one of the neighbors saying they called the cops because they saw a suspicious girl crouched in the bushes with a pair of binoculars outside my house.
Whoa. Why would they do that? No. You need to explain to the cops that this is all a huge misunderstanding. I didn't break any laws.
I'm pretty sure making threats and trying to blackmail people is in fact against the law, Cindy. Despite the fact this ultimately turned out to be an outrageous case of mistaken identity based on a misunderstanding, doesn't mean it was any less scary for me. If my friend hadn't messaged and explained what was going on, I'd still be none the wiser to the truth and most likely be living in terror of what might happen to me and my daughter. I suggest you have a nice friendly chat with the police and calm yourself down. And count yourself lucky if you get off with nothing but a warning this time.
No, I don't want to talk to the cops. What the hell do you think you're doing?
My daughter and I spent the majority of this saga at my parents' house as refugees. When it was finally time to go home after everything had blown over, when I arrived at the house, I was dismayed to find all of my plant pots smashed into little pieces, and the front door covered in shoe marks that made it seem as though someone had been kicking it repeatedly with quite some force. Luckily, we have a door camera, and something tells me you won't be surprised to hear whose rage-contorted face we found on the footage. We swiftly handed the whole recording in at the police station alongside the chat logs of all her threats against me. When I did, without revealing any details, the sheriff told me she was already under investigation for another crime. The police worked their magic, and before Cindy knew it, she was behind bars. Even though it turned out to be a case of mistaken identity in the end, I still felt a strange sense of relief when I heard the news. Vince and I decided to take Tyler and move out of town, just to be safe. Fortunately, Cindy's parents seemed normal, and they agreed to cover all the costs. Me and Father were at her wits' end. We disowned and kicked her out after her third arrest, thinking it would be for her own good in the long run. How wrong we were, is what the message I got from her mom said. Who would have thought something as simple as my daughter's name could have led to such an absurd sequence of events? Reality really is stranger than fiction. But at least now, we finally have peace and quiet, and more importantly, peace of mind.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hey, Jill, were you able to go out with a really good-looking and well-off man?
Emmy? I was just thinking it's been such a long time since we last talked, but you seem to know something I don't. Where did you learn that?
From your mom. Sometimes I'll be walking by her house and she'll come out and talk to me. Well, this time she came out and hit me with the big news.
Are you kidding me?
I hear that you both are even planning to get married already.
No, that's still on the table, but we're not sure what to do yet.
So this means he's at least engaged to you then? Being able to meet an all-around perfect man and then having him become your fiancé like that? I'm beginning to get way too jealous over something like that.
We still don't know if we really want to get married yet or not.
But you both have been talking about it, right?
And that's just everyone around me thinking that. We have talked about marriage, but we haven't done anything more with it, okay?
In other words, this means everyone around you finds him to be the perfect guy, and they all want you married to him.
I'm not sure about that. This was just supposed to be between him and I from the start, and we wanted to take things slowly when it came to our relationship. I might say no to marriage now if rumors like this keep getting worse and worse. I'm tired of people thinking that he's the one I must be with and I can't leave him at any time.
But come on now, he is a perfect man for any woman, so you have to say yes to marriage.
Emmy, you are starting to get on my nerves again with your annoying habits.
What?
I don't like it when you try to claim things about other people when they're not anything you need to know about. I will be the only one to talk about what I plan to do with him, and I don't want you spreading news that isn't real. And it's not even like we're engaged yet, as I haven't given him the answer to his proposal either. We're just boyfriend and girlfriend, and I want people thinking of our relationship that way for now.
But he'll soon become your fiancé, right? So who cares if we just say that you're both engaged?
There is still the chance that I say no to him, right?
But he is the perfect man for you, so there's no way you'd say no to him, right?
No, I could definitely say no to him if I want to.
That's so wonderful of you. I'm getting so jealous.
There is no use here. You just keep going back to the same thing no matter how I try and explain things. It's like one big stupid loop with you. My head is starting to hurt now after this, so I'm going to go now.
What? But I just learned about how you're engaged to the perfect man now.
I told you, he's not my fiancé. I'm asking you to please stop thinking about him and I, all right? I don't want you getting any more wrong ideas about things. Bye now.
Jill, I was able to learn even more about your fiancé than you were willing to tell me.
What? Wait, you're still going on about something I told you not to?
Well, you were keeping all the gossip to yourself, so I had no choice but to go snooping for all the goodies. But of course, all I had to do was go and ask your mom about it.
What? Again with my mom? I've told you before not to listen to what my mom says to you, right?
I learned from her that your fiancé happens to be Eric, and he is 40 years old. And he happens to be in charge of a rather decent-sized company. Your mom even let me see a picture of him, but man, is he one hot-looking guy. I'm so jealous of you, Jill. You make me want to just come over to your house, put on your clothes, and act as though I'm in your shoes.
I told him no. I told him no after he asked for my hand. So he's not my fiancé in any shape or form.
Again with this, I see.
I understand it can be a little intimidating to be with a man who is much older than you are, but
after seeing that face and body of his, there's no way any woman could say no. I already know that you never said no to him and that you both are tightly engaged now.
You have no frickin' clue what's going on, do you? I told you I said no to him, so that's it. He is not my fiancé, and he barely has anything to do with me now. No matter what anyone else has to say about it, I said no to him. N-O.
But in reality,
I've had enough of your BS, Emmy.
Jill, listen to this. Listen to this. I just got pregnant with Eric's kid.
Huh?
4 months ago, whenever I'd try and get more gossip from you about Eric, you always tried so hard to hide the fact that you were engaged to him and everything. Well, I knew it had to do with you fearing that I might come and steal him from you, so you tried your very best to hide all the details. So in order to make your fears a reality, I went ahead and stole him from you.
Are you serious?
I'm sorry. I went to his office building and waited outside for the moment he'd walk out and called for him. I introduced myself to him as one of your old friends. And once I did that, I already had him in my hands. So from there, he invited me to go out with him to a bar in town, and after getting him absolutely hammered, I took him to a hotel room with me. And I'm sure you can guess what the two of us did there, right? When thinking of the time all this took place, this kid has to be his. So thanks to you never telling me a thing about you and him, I was able to go out myself and find him so that I could be the one to carry his kid. Thank you.
Is that right? Well, congratulations then, Emmy.
You're trying to act all tough about this now, aren't you? Right as you hit the jackpot with him and were finally engaged, I came along and stole him. I know that deep down you're wanting to bawl your eyes out and cry into the sky, right? Really, this is a feeling that I've been wanting to have for so long now, but could never figure out how to get here. A feeling you've wanted to have? Oh, so you never noticed anything about me then, did you?
What are you talking about?
Back when we were both in high school, you were going out with that guy, Finn, right? I really had this huge crush on him then.
Huh?
Yet you came out of nowhere and asked him out right in front of me. Do you have any idea how badly you made me feel back then? Well, me coming in from behind you and stealing your fiancé from you is my revenge for what happened to me years ago. And what makes this even better is the jackpot is now mine. All of that happiness you had thinking that Eric was yours is all going to be mine now, huh?
Who is this Finn guy?
So you're just going to keep playing dumb around me, huh? I'm talking about the Finn who was in the same grade as you in high school. You both would always walk home together after school, holding hands and all that.
For my last 4 years of schooling, high school, I was going to an all-girls Catholic school.
Huh?
I must have never told you about the school I was transferring to back in middle school then, huh?
But you went to Davidson High.
The school I went to was Davidson Catholic High School for young women.
Huh? What?
Don't you remember that when you and I exited middle school, I told you that my family was moving to a new house outside Davidson, right? And, well, when we moved out there, I was wanting to play volleyball during my time in high school. The Catholic school happened to have a really good volleyball team, and since I didn't really have too many friends from back in middle school, I decided to go to a different high school than the rest of you. And after starting to go there, you and I never really talked to one another again because we weren't that close of friends. So what's this about you getting me mixed up with someone else you remember from high school when I was never even there? Also, is this you once again causing trouble due to some kind of misunderstanding? I remember back in middle school something very similar to this happened. There was that really popular guy in one of our classes, a grade above you and you happened to think you were dating him for some reason. He already had a girlfriend, though, and when she found out you kept saying to everyone you were his girlfriend, she started to really hate your guts, right?
That was just a small screw-up then.
Had that guy not stepped in and started telling you that he didn't even know who you were, things would have only gotten worse between you and his actual girlfriend. I guess you never really learned from that situation then, huh?
But,
well, I happen to not really have anything to do with you anymore. But I will say that I am thankful that you got rid of Eric for me. So, there you go.
Huh? Why are you thanking me? Why are you thanking me for stealing your fiancé from you?
I've been going out with this other man ever since I was in college with him.
Wait, what?
But my parents always said to me that if I wasn't going out with someone who was making the same amount of money my dad makes and who couldn't care for them financially in their later years, they wouldn't let me marry him. If he wasn't from a university, then it was a no. If he didn't have his own company, then it was a no. He had to be making at least $200,000 a year or it was a no. Because of all those things they kept telling me, I could never get them to accept my boyfriend. So I went straight ahead and used Eric as a way of hiding my real relationship from my parents so they'd think I was actually dating Eric.
But a man like Eric is actually a lot better than whatever boyfriend you're telling me about.
I told you that I already have a man that I'm in love with and have been for years now. Well, when Eric accidentally asked me for my hand in marriage, my parents went ahead and told him okay without ever getting my take on it. Since then, everyone in my family has been going on about how I'm going to be getting married to Eric, and it's been a real pain in the butt for me. But then about 2 weeks after that, something happened. I was told by Eric that he no longer wanted to marry me and said that we were no longer engaged.
2 weeks ago?
This was 2 weeks after he had thought I said yes to him about marriage. He said something about how he had another woman who would be bearing his child, and that child would be the next in line to take over his company.
Could that woman possibly be you, Emmy? Well, yeah, the timing all lines up, actually. He told me he wanted to have a baby with me when he was drunk.
I see now. He was so hell-bent on getting married to me after my parents said okay to his proposal, but then out of nowhere, he told me that things were off and that we'd break up. I was so confused about what had happened to him because he had put so much effort into trying to forcefully marry me after I told him no so many times. But now I can see what the answer was to all of that.
So, in other words, what you're saying is I didn't steal your fiancé from you?
Well, yes, that's what I'm saying now.
Well, this is a little bit boring of an ending to all I had planned for. Well, whatever, I guess. Your boyfriend only ended up graduating from a small-town college with you, right? That means when comparing both of our men side by side, my Eric is far superior to your boyfriend. And now I'm going to be the one becoming the wife of a CEO. I still came out on top in all of this. And you'd better not start crying for me to give Eric back to you, okay?
I'm never asking for him back. I told you already that I'm really thankful you took him off my hands. I hope you both are happy now.
Yahoo! Jill! You never told me any of this. You're the worst.
What is it now?
Eric! He's not the man I thought he was. Why didn't you tell me he had already been married before and has 3 daughters living with him now? I never heard about any of this from you or anyone.
What, you never knew about any of that?
I never knew I'd need to hear about something like this.
So then this means you don't know what happened to his other wives? There was some domestic violence issues with his mother and them.
Huh?
You never knew about the reasons why they were forced to divorce him in the end? It had to do with his family wanting his wife to bear a son for him so that the son could then get the family company next. But they always gave him daughters, and so his mom and him both forced them out of the family.
Huh?
But when it came to the kids, he couldn't just kick them out because that's just inhumane. So he decided to keep them and get full custody of the kids in order to have tax write-offs and such. You never knew about a single one of these things?
Why did you never tell me any of this before?
Well, I thought you knew all of this already because you went so far out of your way to steal him from me in order to get the revenge you'd been wanting, even though I'm the complete wrong person.
I'm not marrying him now.
What?
I don't care how much of a jackpot he is. The fact that he's had wives before me and has 3 kids already? This is not a joke. I'm going to find myself a much younger man who is still making loads of money to marry.
Really? But I thought you already handed in marriage papers and everything to the courthouse.
Huh?
My mom had called me the other day making fun of me for losing such a perfect man to someone else and never marrying him. And while she was making fun of me, she said that he had gotten married already and was at the courthouse handing in the paperwork.
No way!
Do you not remember ever signing those papers with him? So you do remember signing those marriage papers then. Well then, you're not going to be able to get out of that marriage as easy as you think.
What should I be doing here?
About what?
What should I be doing right now about all of this?
Well, if you want to get a divorce, the only thing you can do is go and talk to him about it. But just remember that he's probably not going to be on the same page as you when you bring that up to him.
Why not?
Well, my mom told me that the baby you're carrying right now happens to be a boy, right? You went and had the doctor tell you that during your last checkup. That's what Eric's been wanting all along, so I don't think he's going to let you get away from him that easily.
Crap. No. Jill, please. Come and help me get out of this.
That's not going to happen.
Why not? I'm going to come over to your house for the time being.
No, you won't. My boyfriend happened to have a job transfer, and in order to be with him, we both moved away.
What?
I ended up quitting my job at the company I'd been working for so long and found myself a new job here by the new house. And as for my parents, who ended up using the money that Eric gave me for calling off our engagement, they both used it all up, so I left them and cut ties to the both of them. So please, just leave me and my boyfriend alone now. You won't be able to learn anything from my mom about me now.
Wait, the fact that only you get to be happy after all of this isn't fair. You and I have been longtime friends, right?
And?
You should be coming to help me out of this mess.
Can you give me a good reason as to why I should come out there and help you?
So, you're not going to help me then?
Bye-bye.
What the hell? No way, Jill, please.
In the end, Emmy wasn't able to get the divorce she wanted and had to go through with having the baby while married to Eric. And just as the doctor had told her, it was a boy. But when they brought the baby boy home, Emmy's mother-in-law immediately took him away from her so that she could raise the baby. And in exchange for her baby, she was given the 3 daughters of Eric to raise, with no support coming from the rest of the family. Even with her mother-in-law looking after the baby boy now, this didn't put an end to all the harassment she gave Emmy. And when it came to all the money that Emmy thought she'd be getting to spend from Eric, that all went right to his mom so that she could have free reign over all the income. What makes all of this even worse for Emmy is that Eric wasn't even on her side in any of this, as he's a major mama's boy and would never do anything to go against his mom. And if all this wasn't bad enough for her, not even her own parents were going to help her get any divorce, as they said it would give Emmy a bad name. So Emmy really was left with no way out of things in Eric's family. Even now, she has no way of getting off their property, as it's all fenced in completely with alarms on all the gates, and she's never even asked to leave the house. I think this is a fitting end for her, as she had always been so jealous of Eric and the life that he would let her live. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Gina, I need to talk to you about my mom's funeral.
Oh, sure, Anton. I just heard from your dad. We'll all be meeting up for drinks on Thursday the 5th, and the funeral itself is on Friday, right?
Yeah, that's right. Apparently we got pushed back a day because they're having some technical problems at the funeral parlor. So we're just gonna go for drinks on the 5th instead.
Right. It's also the busiest time of year for them right now, and I heard you sometimes have to wait over a week, so I guess we should count ourselves lucky they managed to fit us in the next day.
So anyway, as for what I messaged you about, sorry babe, but I'll be going to work today.
Huh? Work? I thought today was the start of your condolence leave. I thought you got a full week off for a parent.
I do. But I got a call from the hospital Mom was staying at while I was at work and had to rush off in a panic. I had to drop a particularly troublesome project I've been trying to get completed for ages. And now the office is in chaos with everyone trying to pick up the pieces. I didn't find anyone to take over for me, so I'm worried about how they're going to cope since everyone already has their own stuff to deal with. I'll never be able to have peace of mind with the thought of them all rushing around and having their schedules messed up on my behalf. So I'm going to dash over and take care of it. Which means, and I'm sorry about this, babe, but I think I'll be sleeping at the office tonight.
I see.
I'll be home tomorrow night. I feel bad asking, but would you mind taking care of my pops in the house while I'm away?
I see. I guess you are in a difficult spot, and it's only natural you'd want to get back on top of everything to save your coworkers the trouble. I think your work ethic and sense of duty to your company are admirable.
I'm really sorry about the timing here, babe. I know it sucks, but we do have a little time before the funeral, and I seriously need to get this handled as soon as possible so things can get back to normal for everyone at the office and I can get a good night's sleep again.
Yeah, I get it. All right. Gina! Long time no see, girl. It's me, Nina. Do you remember me? Huh? Nina? Oh, by any chance, is this the Nina from my class in high school? Bingo! Anyway, let's get down to business. Tell me, Gina, where do you think I am right now? I'm sorry, Nina, but I don't have time to be messaging right now. I'll get in touch when things have settled down, okay? Ooh, get you, little Miss Diva. Looks like someone's in a grouch. No, it's not like that. Looks like I have no choice. Hey, Gina, it must really suck for you, huh? I can't believe it's your husband's day off, but he didn't even stay home to spend time with you. Day off? Sure, it's technically his day off. We don't have the luxury of spending time together right now. We're going through a difficult time. Ah, I see. Does that mean you saw this coming? Me stealing your husband Anton from you, that is. Huh? So, back to where we just left off. Where do you think I am right now, Gina? Go on. Tell me. I don't know, and I don't care. Jeez, you're no fun. Whatever, so be it. The truth is,
I'm with Anton in the luxury hot spa resort in Gregsby Town.
Quit joking around. I'm not in the mood.
You wish I was joking.
What the hell is this?
We've been dating for a whole 2 years now. I think it's gonna be time for us to tie the knot soon. Yes, yes, yes! My big dream wedding is going to be amazing.
2 years? Does that mean you've had your claws in him ever since we started caring for his mom?
You need to hurry up and divorce him so I can have him all to myself.
Why would you be doing this now of all times?
Listen to me, girl, and listen good. You think you're such hot shit, don't you? Did you think I forgot what a teacher's pet you were in school? You had no right to be getting grades that good despite coming from a single mother household. You even got into the best college in the state, and on a scholarship with a tuition fees exemption, no less. Ugh, it makes my blood boil just thinking about it. How can there be so much injustice in the world? You make me sick, you disgusting freeloader.
Wait, is this why you...
And that's not all. Anton's mom and dad were fiercely against the wedding when they found out you were raised by a single mom, weren't they?
No, that was only his mom, actually. Sure, she might have been opposed to us being together, but his dad and little brother were perfectly fine with it. And actually, they were super supportive. We ended up going ahead with it in the end after Anton persuaded his mom to give us the go-ahead.
Yep, I know. I didn't ask for an explanation, sweetie. You see, I already know the intimate details of your private life. Apparently, she only agreed to let you marry when he told her that you, coming from a broken family, meant you'd have nowhere to escape to, so she could treat you like her own personal slave. Did you know that's how Anton talks about you behind your back?
Huh? Wait, what?
Your mom got on board when she heard that, which is the only reason she finally agreed to the marriage. Didn't you think it was strange how she changed her mind all of a sudden?
What is this?
If you don't believe me, how about I send you the chat logs? I keep them in a special folder I check whenever I'm feeling bored and need to laugh.
I see. I would like to confirm all this now, but I'm incredibly busy and it's not a good time. Listen, Nina, if you want me to divorce him, you're gonna need to send me a hell of a lot more proof than just a picture.
Sure, I can do that. My family is rich, so if you charge us for compensation, we'll barely even notice. My mommy and daddy will be happy to pay any amount of money if it means securing their precious daughter's happiness. So it's evidence you want, huh? All right. Prepare to receive mountains of the stuff. You're probably going to want to start crying when you see what I'm about to send, so be sure to take regular breaks in between looking and taking deep, big breaths.
Hey, Gina, you announced you were divorcing me at my mom's frickin' funeral? What the hell's gotten into you? I can't believe you shoved a set of divorce papers in my face and stormed out of the church while I was mourning my dead mom. I got quizzed and interrogated by my entire goddamn family because of you. Do you know how much embarrassment you've caused me? This is the most senseless, ridiculous, absurd thing I've ever heard of.
If I'm absurd, then what are you?
Excuse me? What have I done that's absurd?
How about you ask your girlfriend about it? You are just as bad as each other.
My girlfriend?
Nina Jenkins.
What?
I know all about how you guys met after you approached her at a bar, but apparently you didn't know she was my classmate back in high school.
Seriously? Wait, how do you know any of this?
She exposed your relationship to me herself. Tell me, Anton, when do you think she told me? It was the night of the first day of your condolence leave when you told me you were going to the office.
What?
A luxury hot spa resort, huh? You must have been really broken up about your mom. Congrats, Anton. You just won the grand prize for being the world's biggest scumbag. I mean, please. Using your condolence leave to go on a seedy vacation with your lover behind your wife's back? Are you really in any position to say I'm acting senselessly?
Gina, well, Nina seemed so excited when she pitched the plan for the vacation to me that I couldn't refuse.
Really? Because based on what she told me, you offered to pay for the whole thing. Also, she thought it was just a regular vacation and didn't know anything about your mom.
Huh?
I don't know if it's because Nina's never had a single job in her life, but she didn't know what condolence leave meant when I told her the situation.
Wow, really?
I'm sure you can imagine how surprised I was to get a slew of gloating messages from your pea-brained lover about how she'd stolen you from me while I was making preparations for your mom's funeral and you pretended to be at work. You're reaching levels of absurdity previously thought impossible here, Anton. I guess trying to steal another woman's husband is pretty absurd in and of itself. I couldn't decide whether you were both as bad as each other. But when I stopped to think about it, I figured the guy who used his condolence leave to mourn his dead mother as an opportunity to go on a lover's hot spa retreat absolutely had to take the prize. You may have been cheating on me, and Princess Nina may have come at you all of a sudden begging for a vacation, but I might have actually been able to maintain the tiniest morsel of respect for you if you'd offered to reschedule for a later date, or just said no because you were mourning your mom. The fact that you still chose your lover's vacation in spite of everything you had going on shows me that you truly are a heartless lowlife with zero redeeming qualities. And that's the mild version of what I think you are. Believe me, I could say so much more, but then I figure, what's the point? It won't change anything, and you're not worth the energy.
Just shut up, woman. This ain't fair. You can't go pinning this all on me. You've done your fair share of wrong, too. You got up and stormed out like a little kid having a tantrum in the middle of my mom's frickin' funeral. I mean, seriously, shoving a set of divorce papers in my face in front of all those people? What in the heck do you think you're playing at? Surely you could have waited until after the funeral. Why did you have to go and embarrass me in front of everyone I know like that? You got some nerve to spit on my mom's memory by turning her funeral into an episode of Jerry Springer, and then act like you're some righteous hero of justice, and I'm the one in the wrong.
Right. Normally what I did would be downright unacceptable. But you see, Anton, your dad gave me his permission to do what I did at the funeral.
What? My dad?
Listen, your lover, Nina, tried to barge her way into our house this morning.
She did what now?
You didn't tell her about your mom, so she had no idea how busy I was with the funeral arrangements. She was so disappointed at how weak my reaction to finding out about the affair was after she'd been waiting so long in excitement to tell me about it. Between feeling let down by how few craps I gave about her and the fact that you hadn't been answering her calls and responding slowly to her messages lately, she reached her wits' end, flipped out, and drove over to the house in a rage. Her anger turned to confusion when she let herself in by the front door, only to find your dad sobbing alone in his mourning clothes, holding a photo of your mother in the kitchen. That's when the reality of the situation sunk in.
My dad?
Your dad's always had good instincts. Figuring something fishy was going on, instead of calling you, he called me immediately and asked me to come over. When I explained the situation to him, it became pretty obvious what had happened.
Are you serious?
That's not all. Your dad, livid with what you'd done, messaged the whole family and everyone set to attend the funeral with word of your affair.
He did what?
He told me I was free to leave the funeral at any time if the stress of everything all got to be too much for me. And to be honest, I was already at breaking point mentally and emotionally. So I took him up on his offer and left halfway through. As for the divorce papers, Nina brought them with her when she let herself into the house. All I did was sign them and hand them over to you.
Jesus Christ! This cannot be real. Where's Nina now?
She went home. I called her parents after she left and told them about what she'd done, so presumably they're surveilling her at their place now.
Gina?
Oh, and you'll be paying me compensation.
Compensation?
I'll be hiring a lawyer in a week or so once I've had the time to rest and get my mind in a better place.
You're gonna file for compensation from me while I'm still mourning my mom.
Somehow or other, Anton, I feel like using your condolence leave to go on vacation at a hot spa resort with your lover permanently disqualified you from using your mother's death as an excuse to get out of anything.
Yeah, but...
I also have your dad's full support and backing, so I'm fully committed to doing this properly, and I promise I'll be taking you for everything I can. You better not try to escape. It's time to man up and face the consequences of your actions.
Gina? Hello, are you there?
What do you want?
Well, I was kinda hoping we could discuss the whole thing with the compensation.
I'll be hiring a lawyer over the coming days, so they'll be in contact with you, and we've decided on how much you owe me.
Well, Gina, I was kinda hoping we could, forget about all this.
Excuse me?
Please, just think about this for a sec. I didn't know anything about Anton's mom dying or you guys being in the middle of making the preparations for her funeral, right? If I had known, I would have never have done what I did when I did. In a sense, I'm a victim in all this too because Anton lied to me. So yeah, can we just forget all this and move on? Let bygones be bygones and all that?
You must be crazy if you think I'm just gonna forget about what you did to me. Sure, I acknowledge that Anton was in the wrong for not telling you about his mom or the funeral.
Right? So why can't we just forget about it?
Because Anton not filling you in on all the details about his mom and you stealing my husband from me are two completely separate issues. So the compensation is going full steam ahead. You'll be paying me a lot of money, Nina, so I suggest you start rummaging through your piggy bank.
Oh my God, what the hell is wrong with you? Have you never heard of the word sympathy before? How about you try having a heart, you insensitive old bag? I have been researching legal stuff online, and I'm pretty sure this counts as wait, what was it again? Extenuating circumstances.
Extenuating circumstances? It counts as nothing of the sort, and you're tragically deluded if you think otherwise. In what way does not knowing about Anton's mom's funeral expunge you of guilt for the affair? Not only that, but an affair you intentionally plotted with glee to satisfy some pathetic grudge you held against me since back when we were in high school, and which you willfully and voluntarily sent me tons of evidence of to hurt me as much as possible. How could you think there is any way for you to get off the hook on this one?
Well, just listen to me. You don't know how difficult my situation is right now. I have always been more of a housework girl, so I haven't had many jobs and don't have much experience working.
Correction. I think you mean you've never had any jobs. Just because Mommy and Daddy reached their wits' end with you sponging off them and refused to pay the compensation doesn't mean you're getting out of it.
I can't do this, Gina. I am begging you. Please, try to understand.
What, did you seriously think I was going to feel any pity for you because you're actually going to have to face the consequences of your actions yourself? Instead of being pulled out of yet another mess by the bank of Mommy and Daddy?
But...
Obviously not. I'm actually pleased it turned out this way.
But I never thought this was gonna happen.
Anyone who goes out of her way to steal another woman's husband should be prepared to lose everything.
Gina!
I'm not letting you off the hook. And I have zero sympathy for you. I have no intention of going easy on you in court. You will be paying me every cent of the compensation I charge you for.
Oh my God!
There's no way out this time. You made your bed. Now lie in it. After moving out of the in-laws' house, my friend kindly let me stay with her for a while. And with that, I finally set to work on hiring a lawyer and kicking off the divorce proceedings. I was convinced Anton would try to resist me at every turn, but to my surprise, he decided to yield to my demands after receiving a stern talking to from his dad. A few days later, I received every cent of the compensation I asked for in one lump sum, and the divorce was finalized. To make matters worse for my wayward ex-husband, word of him using his condolence leave to go on a lover's vacation got out at his workplace, and he voluntarily resigned to avoid the shame of being fired at the request of his boss. Finally, he was disowned by his dad and kicked out of the house. As for Nina, his partner in crime, after paying me my compensation by taking out a huge loan, she too was disowned by her mom and dad and kicked out onto the streets with nothing but a few dollars and a suitcase with her belongings to her name. There's something kind of poetically romantic about the two lovers of our story getting disowned by their parents and made homeless at the same time, don't you think? Apparently, they started renting a crappy old beat-up apartment in the rough part of town, an area known for its major crackhead and prostitute problem. However, in a sweet irony, it turns out Anton and Nina weren't a very good match for each other after all. Apparently, they started getting into fierce arguments every day. And before long, the neighbors, sick of not being able to sleep, reported them to the landlord. It's looking like they're going to be thrown back out on the streets before the end of the month.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.